The city is covered in snow tonight. Where did my love go? Santa, I'm waiting for him, but he's nowhere inside. And all of the...
Hello guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making some old-fashioned cookies that I used to make when I was a little girl. Some honey macaroonies, cornflake wreaths, and Amish sugar cookies. So I hope you guys will join me today as we get to baking. It's just going to be a cozy, comfy day, and I hope you guys will come along.
Love is all I need, and my love I can't...
We're gonna go ahead and start with the honey macaroonies. They are so simple, but they're literally one of my favorites. They're lightly sweet, a little chewy, and they smell heavenly while they bake. I really love using older recipes during the holidays, especially ones from like the 70s, 80s, because they just feel familiar and comforting. You know, you can almost picture these clipped right out of a cookbook or magazine. And to be honest, these actually, I think, came from the Betty Crocker like recipe cards from like 1975. I just know that I remember making these with my mom when I was a little girl. I used to love sneaking the cherries, the little candied cherries while we were baking them, and I would get in trouble because I would sit there and eat them, but it was just so funny, and my mom just was like, stop being ornery, you know. So if I didn't stop eating them, we probably wouldn't have had enough to cover all the cookies, but it's just so fun and just something I remember, and I absolutely love these cookies and just wanted to share them with you. I almost feel like they taste kind of like a granola, like a granola bar. They're just so good. And if you're a person that doesn't really love sweets, this cookie is definitely for you.
Cause his love is all I need, and my love I can guarantee. So please, Santa, bring back my love tonight.
This recipe doesn't really need a lot of ingredients or any complicated steps. Once everything is mixed together, you're basically good to go. So I love that you can just, mix all the dry ingredients and then mix the wet ingredients together and put them into a little mini muffin tin. Now the original recipe called for 36. Mine only made 24. I really filled those little muffin tins though. I'm going to tell you what. Also another tip, make sure you grease those little guys really well so the cookies slide right on out, because otherwise they will get stuck. The caramel or whatever you make, that sauce that you make, it gets really sticky, and so if you don't grease your tray well enough, they're gonna get stuck in there. So just make sure you do that step. If anything, make sure you are greasing your little mini muffin tins. So I do also love that they don't have to look perfect. Like I said, I just shoved the cookie dough in there. The edges are still kind of not even like perfectly shaped or anything like that. But these cookies are just, meant to be simple and homemade. So once they're baked, they do come out lightly golden on the outside, but they're nice and chewy on the inside. I will tell you, because we're honest here, I actually over-baked mine. I got sidetracked reading a book while I was letting these bake, and they were in there a little bit longer than they should, and it only took like 2 extra minutes, and they were hard. So I had to redeem myself with another batch, and that way they were a little bit more chewy in the center, and the outside was kind of a little crunchy, but the centers were chewy. So do not over bake them. Pay attention to your timer.
And the spirit felt its word, a thrill of hope. The weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees.
My kids very much enjoy these cookies. They had not had them before. I can't believe it's been probably 25 plus years since I've made these. Yeah, I don't know what got me in the mood for nostalgia. I think this year for Christmas, I'm just, I don't know, feeling all the nostalgic vibes. I'm just really missing my mom this year and family and all that. And so I think I just needed a way to, remember her and bring her back for this Christmas at least. And so I just thought this was a good way to do it, is making these delicious, yummy cookies. So if you haven't yet tried these, or if you have, let me know down in the comments if you guys have seen these or tried them before. If you haven't tried them, definitely give them a try and let me know what you think. But now that they're done baking, it's time to move on to the next recipe. And next we're making cornflake wreaths. These next ones are another just such a nostalgic cookie for me. So I am so excited to share it with you.
O'er the world, a star is sweetly gleaming. Now come the wise men from out of the Orient land. The King of the Kings liveth.
These cornflake wreaths are another pure Christmas nostalgia for me. I just love making these, and they are so simple. Probably the simplest cookie that you could make for Christmas. They are just very, very similar to making like Rice Krispie treats, but instead of Rice Krispies, you're making cornflakes, you're adding color, and you're shaping them into a wreath. So they're, like I said, so simple. I will give you a tip though. While you are melting down your marshmallows, do not walk away from them. Make sure you are stirring. And I honestly shut the heat off about halfway through melting the marshmallows and butter together, so nothing got scalded or burned.
Your King before him alone.
Like I said, these are probably the simplest cookies that you will make for Christmas. They don't even need an oven, which I love, because if you live in a hotter climate or maybe it's warm outside, I know back home has been unnaturally warm, unseasonably warm. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Goodness gracious. But I just thought that these are just perfect. You don't have to heat up your house unless, you're wanting that in the wintertime, and then maybe you want to skip these or make these, or I don't know. But I think these would be really simple for kids to make, and they're just so fun. But it's another recipe, that you don't have to strive for perfection. You know that we're all about not being perfect around here. Wink, wink. If you watched my last video all the way to the end, you know what that is hinting at. So anyway, these are supposed to look a little rustic and definitely homemade. That is one thing I love about Christmas cookies, is making them and sharing them, with your neighbors and family, and even like sending them to school in my hubby's job. I just love sharing just the homemade cookies, and there's just something, it's just such a vibe. I don't know what it is, just to have these homemade cookies, these made from scratch cookies. So I just think they're so fun. Again, these are just super simple. Once I got them on the parchment paper, I did go ahead and spray my fingers with some nonstick spray to shape them, to keep it from sticking to my fingers, because that marshmallow mix butter stuff is super sticky. So little tip from Tammy, spray your fingers before you shape them. But anyway, Once they are done shaped, we're going to be adding the little red candies. I used Red Hots. Now you could use M&Ms or anything that you really want. I guess you could probably even use Skittles, but I don't know how that would taste. But I hunted down some Red Hots. I ended up finding them at the Dollar General. I was having a hard time getting them at my Walmart, which I thought was a little crazy, but you know what? Maybe it's just the time of year. But anyway, I think that adding those little Red Hots on there just makes it a little extra festive. It just makes it look a little bit more like a wreath after you shape it and then add the little red hots on there. It makes it look like, little berries or something. I just think it's so fun. So these are usually one of the first cookies, though, to disappear from the cookie tray after I make them. I already had my kids begging me to eat them while I was making them for this video, and I had to shoo them away. I'm like, you guys, you can't eat these right now. But don't worry. They got their fill as soon as I was done filming.
From this Christmas side, it's gonna be you and me decorating the tree. From this Christmas side. From this Christmas side. From this Christmas side, it's gonna be you.
We're going to go ahead and finish these delicious cornflake cookies by putting the little red hots on there, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the next cookie, which is some Amish sugar cookies. I am super excited for these. These Amish sugar cookies are absolutely delicious. They're another one, just like the first ones, if you don't love super sweet cookies, the Amish sugar cookies are perfect for that because they aren't super sweet. They're just the perfect right sweetness. You know what I mean? I know not everybody has a super sweet tooth, and so I just think that these cookies are perfect for those type of people.
Echoing the joyous strings, Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria.
These Amish sugar cookies are such a classic. They're soft, not overly sweet like I already said, but perfect with a cup of coffee or tea. I just love having a simple sugar cookie like this mixed in with the other treats. It kind of just helps everything balance out so nicely. You can really get a lot of sweets going at Christmas time, and so this just kind of helps cut that a little bit. So anyway, this dough is very easy to work with, which I truly appreciate also during these holidays. It's a cookie that is super easy for my kiddos. It's just like any other cookie, mixing the wet ingredients and then mixing the dry ingredients in and then mixing them together. So super simple cookie, super delicious. It's like a buttery, flaky cookie. I don't know how to explain it, but it's so good, so simple. And like I said, it's definitely a staple. It's something that I grew up with, and I am very happy to share it with you guys.
Choirs of angels praise, Mary, Joseph, lend your aid, while our hearts in love we raise.
I really feel like every family has kind of some version of a sugar cookie like this, so this one just feels really comforting to me. It's not fancy, it's not complicated, it's just really good and such a dependable cookie. I know other sugar cookies sometimes they get a little difficult to work with. They don't want to hold their shape. All the different things. So this sugar cookie recipe, though, is just absolutely simple, easy, perfect, all the things. I love it. So this is usually the kind of cookie, though, I make when I want something cozy without a lot of decorating or extra steps. That's another thing I love about these. You get that sugar cookie, but you don't have to frost it or anything like that, do any of the decorating. Although I don't mind decorating, that is one thing I am not good at, is sugar cookies. So this one really just helps me out. So if you're like me, struggle with some other sugar cookies, try this recipe, see if it helps you any. But like I said, the other thing I love about it is, like, especially around Christmas when there's already so much going on, it's nice to have a recipe that just doesn't feel stressful, and that is definitely this sugar cookie.
And the radio keeps singing what the season's all about. From upstairs we hear the laughter from the ones that waited long for the socks to fill, but they won't until the birth of Christmas Day.
This dough is really easy to work with, which I truly, truly appreciate. There's nothing worse than a cookie dough that is too sticky, too hard to roll out, or when you're already juggling a bunch of baking. I also love that these stay soft for days. They're perfect if you like to bake ahead, or if you're putting a cookie tray together for friends or family or neighbors. The only thing I will say, you want to make these a day ahead of time because you need to refrigerate the dough overnight. I almost forgot about that. I guess in a shorthand, you could throw them in the fridge for a couple hours, but you really want that cookie dough to get nice and cold again and just more solid than what it is while you are making it. So here we are, it's the next day, the cookie dough is nice and chilled, and we're gonna decorate it with just some sprinkles. I grabbed a couple different colors of sanding sugar and some of these little round sprinkles. I don't know what they're actually called. Do they have an actual name, or are they just sprinkles? I don't even know. But anyway, I just think that is super easy. The colors are perfect for Christmas, and again, they're just super easy. I guess, honestly, if you wanted to just leave these plain, you could do it that way. Or if you wanted to frost them, you probably could frost them as well. They're a pretty sturdy cookie, and they probably would take some icing, royal icing, pretty well. But I don't know. Sometimes I just leave them plain. I like to add the sugar and roll them in the sanding sugar, but it really just kind of depends on my mood. So, kind of take it as your own. That's one thing I love about baking and baking cookies, is that you can really just make them your own, and they're super simple. Again, whether you want them with the sanding sugar, you want them with sprinkles, I think they would probably be good with some of the rainbow jimmies as well. Use whatever your little heart desires.
I love the mistletoes, I love them cheesy pieces on television, and I cry like a baby.
This is just another one of those recipes, though, that feel so nostalgic, like they've been passed down on family to family member forever, and I love just having something like this in the mix with all my other Christmas cookies for the holidays. So another tip from Tammy, though, while I see it on the screen here, while you are smushing your cookies down, make sure you are greasing the bottom of that pan. You can even dip it in a little bit of extra sugar if you need to, because it will stick to your dough balls. At this point, you guys, my kitchen is smelling absolutely amazing for the second day in a row. And honestly, seeing all these cookies just together is my absolute favorite part. There's just something so cozy and festive with about a full tray of Christmas cookies. I don't know what it is, but I absolutely love this time of year.
I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Alrighty, let's give a little bit of a taste test here. I think I'm just gonna try one of these delicious, Amish sugar cookies. Delicious. I hope you guys got some inspiration out of today's video, or if not, just enjoyed a cozy day with me in my kitchen. I hope that you guys would share your favorite recipe with me that's been passed down in your family. Anyway, you guys, I hope you guys all are having a great holiday season. Merry Christmas. I hope you all are staying happy, healthy, and safe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Tonight I wanna dream away.